Hello, everyone. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. I know I didn't do a devotional last week. Some people was upset about it. It's totally fine. Um, I did Christmas music instead. Figured everybody enjoy that. But this week is week 20 on the devotional. It is a line in the sand. It says, "Then the king ordered Ashpion, chief of his court officials, to bring into the king's service some of the Israelites from the royal family and the nobility or nobility young men without any physical defects, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that they were to enter the king's service. Among those who were chosen were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, I don't know, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief's official gave them new names. To Daniel, the name Batzahar; to Hajana, Shadrach; to Majal is Mashach; and to Azarah is Abado. I don't know. Abednego. But Daniel resolved that he would not defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Daniel 1, verses 3 through 8. In the Middle Eastern culture, when you sat down to eat a meal, particularly with a ruler or a king, it was a sign of a covenant commitment. You were pledging loyalty to the king, to submit to and share his life, but the only one Daniel was going to submit to was God, and he wanted to make that clear. Never cross a line that God has drawn. The world will tempt you, but when you stay on God's side, you will stay on the good side. Just as Daniel and his 3 friends were given food from the king's table, obviously very good food, so too are we given food from the table of this present world. Yes, it looks attractive. It tastes good too. Why then should we not partake? We're told that Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were without defeat. But the reason Daniel gave for not eating food from the king's table was that it would defile him. This attractive meal would do great harm to these men, and they were wise enough to abstain from what God had prohibited. Each of us is in some way tempted to dine from the king of this world's table. The fare looks delicious and will be pleasing to the taste, but to eat that which God has forbidden is to partake of poison. What is it in your life that is being offered as food from the king's table? Have you already partaken and experienced its sad effects? If so, resolve now to push back your chair from the king's table and stay on God's side, the good side. Right now, I don't know what to think of this devotional. It's something that I'll have to read into and kind of think about a little bit. So it's a good one though. I think it's really good one because it telling you, hey, the world is offering you things that God prohibits or frown upon, and you need to step back and look at what you're getting offered or what you're partaking in, and seeing, does that cross the line that God has set for us? Is that God's way? Is that the good way or the good side to be on? So it's good because it's like makes you think, and what I'm doing in my life, is it God's way or God's will? Should I be doing it? Or should I, like it said, push your table away from the king's table? Or push your chair away from the king's table? I like it. It's a good one. It's a good devotional. Probably one of my favorites out of all these. Um, Next week is week 21, which is take the heat. So we'll see what that one has in store. Again, sorry that I didn't do a devotional last week. Figured week of Christmas, take a break. But we'll be back next week with week 22. Y'all have a good week. God bless.